All right. This is gonna be on your lap.
That's fine. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Trouble.
When you walked in.
I watched a video of Taylor Swift reacting to memes about her. And the one was that where it's like, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Trouble. But on the someone cut it of that screaming goat. Here's that one.
Oh yeah, it's a great.
It goes,
goat
dude.
song.
Trouble. But they cut the. And it goes,
Yeah,
and
like one of those.
she laughed at it.
Good.
Hysterical. She was like, that's really
Of
funny.
course she did, and if she didn't, they would have shot a new take where they made
Where
sure
she made her
laughed.
laugh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you came off as a bitch. Could you do that again and
You're
laugh
America's
at yourself?
sweetheart. You need to
Yeah.
laugh at this.
Yeah, Taylor, you're being a real bitch right now.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Bushwick Bears podcast. Here we are again. We've done it. We made it.
Back.
I don't know a single. I mean, I know I've heard Taylor Swift songs, but if you asked me to name one, I couldn't do it.
That's fucking blasphemy. She is
No,
the
I
voice
could
of a
name-
generation.
Ah, fuck.
I hear that, but it's not my generation. I'm 40. I'll be 42 in January.
It's not my generation. I love Taylor Swift.
Wait, what's the one? Shake,
I don't disrespect it.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
That was a
shake
great.
it off.
I
yeah.
like that one a lot actually because there's a cover of it that's like it's what's it called, something jukebox.
Oh, the postmodern. Jukebox.
Yeah. They got a cover of it, and you know all their shit is tight, and so
Yeah.
this one is no different.
I love Taylor Swift. I saw Taylor Swift. It was the first show of the Reputation tour. So at this point, that was probably 3 years ago, I guess. And it was in the University of Phoenix Stadium in Phoenix.
You have Phoenix Online.
It is. No, that's who sponsors it, even though it is in the city of. It's
They
actually in
can
the
have
city
a
of Glendale,
stadium
Arizona.
for the
Yeah.
concerts, but
It's
they
a
can't have a
digital
classroom.
stadium.
It's true.
for
That's
their
it still is.
students.
It was so great. I was so stoked, and I got fuck you tickets. You know, like they were on the floor,
Yeah.
like 20 rows back,
Awesome.
60,000 people.
Was there somebody else performing, or you were just there to see
Oh,
T Swift?
yeah, there were openers, but who cares?
You were there for T
For
Swift.
T Swift, and I mean these were like, I mean my girlfriend at the time paid for them. I don't want to even say how much they
so
were.
your
yeah.
girlfriend was there for T Swift.
No,
and
this was a gift to me.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
You're this big a fan.
I
Yeah,
love
he's
T
a-
Swift,
yeah, he's made
and
my-
and were there a lot of like teenage girls?
oh
that
my
were
god,
like,
hold
"Who the
on, let me
fuck
just
is
tell
this?"
you. Let me just tell you this.
Is that a roadie?
So we drove up and it was like we're going to party, you know, like we're gonna raid and have we're drinking beers in the parking lot, and I seriously we're like go and she's got the weed pen and I got like a bag of drugs and we're like gonna fucking party so
You're like
hard.
the only ones shooting up heroin in the corner
Yeah.
of the Taylor Swift.
You guys
show.
are the deadheads.
And we're
of
like
Taylor
on the
Swift
floor,
fans.
60,000 people, and I'm like literally like, oh yeah, I want to do a shot and drink a beer, and like I'm about to like pull out the bag, and I like look down, and to this there's like nothing but teenage girls in front of me. There's like a group of like 8 to 10-year-old girls on this side, another group of and I'm like look around, I was like, I'm surrounded by children. I cannot do this right now.
Yeah. You know where that happened to me? Similarly embarrassing, even though I know you're not embarrassed, but you should be. No, similarly embarrassed is me and my friend Rachel went to see Macklemore in concert. This was in, what's that one in Union?
I thought Thrift Shop was cute when it first came out.
Well, that's why,
I'll
you know,
admit it,
I didn't listen to him that much. Yeah, Thrift Shop was cute. He was playing, what is that in Union Square?
Irving Plaza.
Irving Plaza, the one right right by NYU. Anyway, it was all NYU because it was all like 19 to 20-year-olds and us. And I think she on like had like a competition maybe over. I'm trying to remember. I was like 28. Well, I'm trying to do the numbers to see where this isn't creepy. But I think we had a competition to see who could make out with somebody. And we were like in our late 20s, I'm going to guess.
Who wants a Hershey's bar?
Yeah. I honestly can't remember who won that.
Macklemore. I hope she did.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
why? There's nothing. Listen, I was like 29, it was probably like a 22 or 23-year-old.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all.
it was like, but if she made out with like a 15-year-old.
No, nothing. I don't think you actually. You know what? I think everybody did have to be 21 to be at the concert,
Dude.
But they were all visibly younger than us.
Oh, okay.
That Taylor Swift show
And she's older
was
than I am.
incredible.
Yeah,
It was incredible.
Oh, I bet it is. I mean, I bet it was phenomenal.
I cried.
Macklemore was fine.
Yeah. Did Macklemore freestyle?
I don't think so. I honestly don't remember.
I gotta be honest. I went and saw Run the Jewels a couple years ago, and
Well, that's not. You say that as if that's somehow as embarrassing, or even embarrassing at all. They're great.
it's not at all. But here's the thing, though. I forgot about seeing rap concerts. Is that it is just the two guys saying everything you heard on the album already. I mean, which I know is
Sometimes it really is.
I know, but like I know it's but it like there's no you can't feel it the way you can like an instrument. Like when there's like a guitar and like somebody playing the bass and stuff like that, it just wasn't the same. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, they're doing the album.
I get what you mean, but then there's still like a different live feeling to like being in a room with people with like bass pounding and like if it's a good performance, if they're really connecting.
They had a couple DJs open up for them. And that was actually the more entertaining part of it because you didn't really know what was coming.
Yeah.
And they were all just kind of like making it up on the spot sort of thing. And so I enjoyed like that kind of electronic. And the concert was still fun. It was still like a fun time, but it wasn't like it was like going to see, Led Zeppelin or something.
Right. But especially like a duo, even like I've seen like De La Soul and that was like lively, because it's multiple. It's not onto one rapper. To hold your attention on top of a track.
Yeah,
playing.
I saw a Tribe Called Quest open up for the Beastie Boys one time, and they did a really good job with it. But the Beastie Boys, they came out. It was in Detroit. It was at the Palace of Auburn Hills.
Yeah.
And their stage was in the center, which is a big round circle, and they all had all their band was up there, and they played all like live instruments except for the DJ, of course.
One time, my favorite version of like I've seen a lot of hip hop rap groups live, and you're right. It's just usually it's just not the same. The energies. Yeah. I enjoyed Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
For the reason that there was a couch on, there was like 2 couches on the stage. There's so many people on stage. They literally had couches on the stage.
Oh yeah.
And it was a big stadium show. They were opening up for Rage Against the Machine. This was like in This was like in 90.
That was like 97,
98, something like that. And they fucking, I just remember thinking it was so funny, just like 2 couches. And I'm like, who are all these people? Most of them didn't rap the whole time.
All the Killer Bees are there.
Everybody's there just chilling.
Dude.
They're like old dirty bastards like
The Roots were pretty fucking incredible live.
I saw the Roots open up for Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, they were pretty incredible.
Twice.
But you're like, there's something about instruments and like that kind of stuff. I mean, I've seen so many fucking incredible shows.
All Jimmy Fallon did was talk.
And Jimmy Fallon just talked? Oh,
he didn't headline with a musical set?
I was going to say, he didn't do all his songs,
No.
He was like behind a desk the whole time and there were cameras. It was pretty weird.
It's so funny, though, how like I saw the Roots back. I got to go to the Tonight Show and I saw the Roots backstage and they just are walking around in like gym shorts and stuff. And then I thought they would show up. I think Black Thought's the only one who showed up like looking like he
like
kind
his
of
like
does.
persona,
yeah, like he kind of does on TV, and everybody's just like hanging out, and it's so fucking casual. I mean, those guys work like an hour a day,
right?
You know what I mean? And it's amazing. I wish I'm advocating for universal Roots income. And I want everybody to make as much as the Roots do for work
1 hour a day. I like it.
I can get behind it. Do you guys remember the best shows you've ever seen?
Well, I've been to a lot, but you made me think of one of the worst of recent days. So my friend had free tickets to at the Brooklyn Cellar or whatever, like the winery spot.
Yeah.
And it was the Killer Bees. With and I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh, who was it that had rolling papers? I think it was like their rolling paper release, whichever.
Oh,
I don't remember who it is. Who it was
like Raw or Bamboo or whatever.
But they had their own brand. I don't remember who it was, but it was basically like it was only the Killer Bees there. Whoever it was supposed to be never showed up I forget. It sounded like they had a valid reason, but basically the rest of the Killer Bees were like, we're gonna put on this show, and it was like they were literally like arguing with each other over who would be rapping next and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, you know who kind of saved the show? Like it was literally a fucking mess, and Young Dirty Bastard.
Oh yeah,
and he's pretty fucking good. He kind of like channeled his dad, and he went out into the crowd and like controlled the crowd and did like ODB songs, and
That's
like
awesome.
Oh, man.
we still left early because he like did his thing, and then somebody else came on after, and it was bad again.
That's got to be a hard torch to bear, to be Young Dirty Bastard.
But he handled it pretty well. He was wearing like a teddy bear costume or something.
Yeah, that fits the persona of the young part.
Yeah,
for sure. The best I saw a lot of concerts or shows or whatever, and they've all been great for like their own reason. From like, I mean, I don't like the band Fish, but they had a great concert. Who else? Is everything okay? Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm just checking so we can keep an eye on the time.
Honestly, the best concert I've ever seen was Rob Zombie opening up for Korn, which is trash. I mean, I know this is like, and it's not recent either. This is
Tell us something surprising. Everybody already guessed it.
Yeah, I know. This is 19. I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. Recently dropped out of college. Working as a welder's assistant in a machine shop, and I had no interest in like White Zombie or Rob Zombie. I was never like a fan. I was never like a Dragula. I was never like that guy. That's one of his songs or whatever. But I didn't really care. Yeah. I'm not into like horror stuff.
They're pretty good though. I liked them. I actually liked Korn more almost later on. But
I loved. I see now. Here's the thing: is like I was into rap and then like heavy metal. And so when Korn came along and like being like a broken kid, I'm like, rap metal is the future of music. It's where two perfect music forms come together to make the most perfect music.
That's what you love. I mean, you were a big Limp Bizkit fan.
I met Fred Durst.
I was just joking.
I met Fred Durst maybe twice, and DJ Lethal. And who else? Yeah, so I went with the intention of seeing Korn to the Toledo Sports Arena, right? And I was like, I don't even really care for Rob Zombie. I'm not here for this part of the ticket. I was debating, like, we're going to go because I'm going to go watch the whole show. I paid for it or whatever. But I was ready to just, like, glance it over. And, like, Toledo Sports Arena fit, like, maybe 15 to 20,000 people, and it was decent sized. And maybe 15 is probably on the bigger side. And he had a huge fucking stage and these tall black curtains. You can't see nothing. It just looks like an empty fucking stage. And I'm like, this is going to be kind of lame or whatever. And then the lights go out and fucking like all these flames start shooting up and everything and stuff. And then like these lights and then like this horror effects and all that sort of stuff were like starting to be projected and sounds and everything. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know, the band starts coming out to all the flames and everything. One of the band guy comes out and shooting flames out of his guitar. And that's before. And then the curtain drops and it's fucking Rob Zombie standing in front of a glowing fucking castle. Of like, it looked like Castle of Grayskull from He-Man,
yeah, right,
and stuff like that, and like flames just start shooting everywhere, and lights and everything, and like explosions, and they start launching into the song. I'm like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And like during the show, like strippers dressed in cop uniforms like would come out of the castle and like dance and strip and whatnot, and then like a giant robot with laser sighting would come out and target people in the fucking audience and everything like that, and the guitar player's drinking blood out of his guitar, and another robot comes out with a flamethrower, and you could feel the fucking heat. It was fucking insane. And so the concert's fucking great. I'm like into all these songs, all the performances and everything like that. And then like he ends with this big explosive fucking thing or whatever, and then confetti drops out of the sky.
Confetti seems so like whimsical.
The confetti was rolling papers. Yeah, and you're just like, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever.
This is the best day of my life.
It was just like so now whenever Rob Zombie was playing after that, I would go see Rob Zombie. And I got so sick from I had caught the flu and I managed to only make it through Rob Zombie. I didn't even watch the Corn Show.
That's hilarious.
I puked out my friend's car and called off work the next day. But the Rob Zombie part, greatest show ever.
I saw Rob Zombie open up for Ozzy at this show, and it was so great. Yeah, it was so the production was insane. But all I remember, what I mainly remember from that show was Ozzy came out and he had a big giant cross, and it caught the curtain on fire.
Oh,
I was like, so this is part of like people are like this must be part of the show, and then I realized, oh no, they're trying to put it out, and Ozzy has no clue what's happening. And so like,
it's like Michael Jackson's hair.
Oh my god! So Ozzy's just doing his crazy where he's running around clapping, pouring water on his head and shit, and the rest of the band's playing, but they're all kind of like looking over their shoulder, like, are we gonna get this under control? And it took like 2 songs of like fire extinguishers. And then, but they finally put it out. I just remember being like, "Holy!"
He still
shit.
hadn't noticed.
Awesome. And he didn't even notice. Ozzy didn't even notice.
He probably thinks he's still at that concert today.
I've seen
he is
some like
lost.
Incredible. Like I said, that Taylor Swift show was awesome. Prince, I saw Prince.
Oh, you saw Prince?
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
I saw Prince in the super sweet spot of, because there was a time where when he became Jehovah's Witness where he stopped playing the hits. And I saw him the next tour when he was like, whatever happened in his brain, he's like, fuck, I'm going to play all the hits.
Yeah.
Sick.
And it was
incredible. I think because he lost so much money on one of those record deals. Because he used to do a thing where he wouldn't sign record deals. It was all shake of the hand.
Yeah.
And then, like, somebody needed to step in to protect Prince.
Well, that's what
that sounds crazy.
Thing,
yeah,
remember?
the slave, when he shaved slave into his face or whatever.
I don't think Prince.
Yeah. That's why he changed his name.
Right, he didn't have ownership of his name.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seed, that was incredible.
I don't think I've ever listened to them, but I've heard of it.
It was so, I got really good seats for that, but like,
do you guys keep your stubs?
I did for years. I don't anymore though.
I still have all my stubs.
I
have
still
all
have
my
tons
stubs
of stubs.
Yeah, I have my stubs in this tin with like memorabilia from like shows I've seen and like stuff I've gone to do, or like with countries I've been to, and one unused French condom.
By far the best live band though I've ever seen, hands down, is Fishbone.
I've heard that.
I used to listen to them back in my ska phase all the time.
They were like, I remember seeing them, and I got lucky enough that my old band played with them a couple times, so it's like that was cool.
Oh, that's crazy.
Sick.
But like my first time seeing them was at a venue that probably held like 300 people, like not that many, and it was full. It was great. But Angelo, the singer, like literally first song, jumps into the crowd, jumps over my head. I'm really close to the front. Jumps over my head and is still singing, and dude, I can't see where he goes. Comes back butt naked. And just does the rest of the show butt naked.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that makes
the saxophone. He's taking
got
the
a huge
saxophones off.
dong.
Oh yeah.
You know who used to do that all the time is Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you ever listen to them?
Oh,
I saw them.
G.G. Allen.
When I saw them in Asbury Park, they like made them play early during the day because the last time someone like pissed in someone's mouth or like threw milk at the audience, like something like that. And they had like a fucking daytime show.
So you know what's funny
Only
about,
guys with huge dongs do that.
or very
No.
small, or
Not-
very small dongs like
I just
G.G.
would never
Allen.
think to do that. So
Where
But
it's just freeing now.
G.G. Allen had the smallest dick I've ever seen on a grown man in my life. The funny thing about G.G. Allen is, I mean, there's not that much funny. Do you know about G.G. Allen?
Not a lot.
But you kind of know of what he was.
Yeah.
yeah, you know of him.
He's like, the most punk rock dude that ever was. Like, he took it too far and fucking died. He was a total piece of shit. But and it's fucking, it's crazy is he actually has a couple of decent songs.
Yeah, I never got into it because I never liked the oeuvre of I'm just gonna do shit because I have to fulfill this personality thing. It's like, when people you've been around celebrities and stuff, whatever, they have to like, what would What would Gigi Allen do in this situation? I'd cut my arm up or whatever because it's shocking.
I'd eat my own shit. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So I never got into that level of the punk
I had
thing.
when I was. I mean,
Did he eat his own shit?
Yeah, oh yeah, he would shit
Yeah.
on stage and then eat it and stuff. He was fucking gross. He was a vile human being.
And people around him enabled it.
A little bit. By the end of his life, no one was around.
He was almost like a
Yeah.
Marina Abramovich of punk rock. They should have gotten together.
Dude, so one time when I first heard it, like when I was a teenager, it was like punk rock. I was like, just give me everything, right? And I had seen the name Gigi Allen, but I never had listened to it. And one of my friends goes, "Yeah, you remind me of Gigi Allen." And I was like, "Yeah, what, really?" He goes, "Yeah, you just check him out."
It's because you're always
you suck
eating.
at music.
I was gonna say it's because you're always eating your own shit.
I was
Yeah.
just like, I watched it and I was like, it's so extreme. I was like, I'm never that extreme.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
I was like, really? Well, you know, it's funny. You know, Todd Phillips, The Hangover, and he just
oh
did
yeah,
the
yeah,
Joker.
Right.
yeah.
His college project was a documentary on Gigi Allen called "Hated."
Oh, okay. There's a bartender in Charleston who used to bartend all the comedy shows that we did, named Johnny Puke, who was with Gigi Allen when he died.
Oh yeah, he was.
It's listed in it's in a book,
Yeah.
like it's like the official.
Oh no, he was like at a party. Like they filmed.
Yeah.
They filmed basically everything up until he. Like, they filmed the whole day and the night of the party. And
Wow.
then he just never woke up the next day. He was a junkie.
All that feces finally got to him.
Right? You know what's funny is years and years ago, so his brother, they were, for a while, it was Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies, and his brother was the bass player in the Murder Junkies. Well, the Murder Junkies kept touring, like, as the Murder Junkies.
Yeah.
For a long, and so I saw the Murder Junkies. This was
Touring after he died.
after he died.
Did they just like Weekend at Bernie's him in front?
No, they found a guy who like just cut himself up. It was all he looked like Abdullah the Butcher, like the wrestler,
Yeah.
from cutting his
Oh,
own forehead,
gross.
like all the
God.
scars
As the
on his forehead.
replacement?
Yeah, that was the replacement. And I was like, this was in Tucson when I like worked at this venue, so everywhere I got in for free. So I was like, oh, it's right down the street. I'll peek my head in and see the Murder Junkies. And I went in there, and it was all like there was like maybe 15 people there, and it was awful. They were awful. The band was awful, and like it was all just the crustiest, scummiest dudes in Tucson.
Yeah.
And the gorgeous 19-year-old hostess that worked at my fucking job. And I was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Do you have an ID or something?" She's like, "Yeah, I have an ID. Don't tell anybody." I was like, "I won't." And then I ended up hooking up with her that night.
Oh hell yeah.
I was
Nice.
the
happy
least,
ending to the Murder Junkies.
I was the least scummiest of the scummiest people in one of the scummiest towns in the country.
That's why I got into comedy.
This was your Macklemore concert.
It was. Oh,
I've seen
it
a
was
bunch of
amazing.
good shit when I was just like young. I would go see especially when I was in the Navy, I would go see anything and everything that was
Right.
playing like at the venue down. This place called the Norva. I forget how many people have fucking seats, but it's not that many. And you used to see Les Claypool there a bunch and like Rollins
Yeah.
band and everything.
Claypool,
Like,
I've seen a ton. Those are
Ton
really
of
fun
times.
concerts.
I've never seen Primus, but I've seen the Fearless Flying Frog Brigade.
Yeah, and
the
Bucket
other-
of Bernie Brains.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I saw Primus like 95 like Punch Bowl tour. Like this was probably my 4th or 5th show.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was so awesome. It was like peak Primus.
yeah.
Like the whole crowd just hopping
Bumping up
like
and
that.
Yeah, yeah.
down.
It was
Yeah.
so awesome. It was literally one of the best shows of my life. And then I've seen Primus a few times, but then I went and saw him like one of their last records, and POD was opening up for him. Do you remember that
Ugh.
garbage
That's
band?
weird.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was so weird, and I was like, "This is
Why you
gross."
gotta be like this?
Right?" And it was
Yeah.
so weird and gross. And I was like, "Ugh!" But we went anyway, and the POD was terrible, and all their fans, I had like Jesus fishes painted on their face and stuff.
They're a Christian band, POD?
Yeah,
they're
they're
a Christian
Christian.
band.
Yeah, that sounds about
And
right.
then I remember Primus came out, and they kept like rushing the stage, and Les Claypool was wearing this like pig mask, and they played 2 songs, and like people kept coming like grabbing his bass and doing stuff, and he's like, "Hey, if you guys don't stop this shit, we're not gonna play."
Yeah.
And
Right,
the next song they did, and they played like 2.5 songs and left the stage and didn't come back.
Yeah.
They
I was
really
so
should have met the fans of the band they had open up for him.
Jeez, it was terrible.
Oh man.
I have a signed Brown album out there, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, I was listening to one time I was smoking weed years ago with Dusty Slay. We're listening to this, Pork Soda, the Primus album.
Yeah.
There's that song about how his roommate like killed himself or whatever, and he goes, "Man, he must have got sick of listening to all that bass." You know what? The worst concert I've ever fucking seen. I just thought of it now. I saw Dashboard Confessional post 9/11 too. Like,
oh wow.
I saw him at the Norva in Norfolk, and they had two bands that were opening up for him: MXPX and the Brand New, I think was their name or something like that, right? And
I don't know any of those very well, but I know I don't like them.
So here's the MXPX is like this old like straight edge.
They were like
kind of a punk band.
They were kind of like Blink-182 punk rock.
I think I used to mix them up with before I got into NoFX, just because of the names.
Oh yeah,
but NoFX rocks. I got really into NoFX eventually.
Yeah, and so they came out and did a fucking cover. Oh, like Baba O'Reilly or something like that. Right. They came out to that.
Yeah.
Like the whole harpsichord thing at the beginning or whatever, and started playing the fucking yeah. Then they launched their things and they fucking rocked. And then this other band, the Brand New, came out and they were fucking sick. Like they shredded.
Yeah, Brand New had an album I really liked.
Yeah, they like really went at it. They were like, and they're like live because they're playing their instruments.
Long Island, baby.
They were fucking nailing it pretty hard, and it was like pretty hardcore. And I was like, oh man, I've had this gay music pegged wrong the whole time. You know, I'm thinking
maybe I got it pegged wrong.
Whatever. And so and then Dashboard Confessional was the last band they're headlining, and fucking the place goes black, and then all of a sudden you see the like the curtain had like what looked like stars on it and whatnot. Then there's a lightning bolt with a D and a C, like AC/DC, but it was just the Dashboard. And then fucking the opening chord to Thunderstruck starts playing. It's like and I'm like, holy shit, Dashboard Confessional fucking rocks, right? And then the little guy comes out and he comes out with an acoustic guitar and they stop playing it and he goes, just kidding. Like, now I'm gonna play, and then he's gonna, your hair was everywhere.
It's funny because that's like a personal prank on you.
Oh, it was such a yeah.
Because everyone else there probably was like, they like know that.
They're like, what is this?
All the girls were probably like crying when the AC/DC started. And then they're like, then they saw him with his little guitar, like, oh my god, he's here.
He got us. I knew he wouldn't play that.
Yeah, I knew he was sensitive.
Meanwhile, Derek's fucking fuming.
Oh, I'm pissed. And he starts playing his lame guitar and his guitar songs and whatnot.
That's Angus Young's SG, by the way.
Wait, what?
That, I mean, not literally his, but that's like the Angus Young edition Gibson SG.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he played this thing, this acoustic guitar, and I was like, are all the songs gonna suck? Get back to the AC/DC, dude. When are you gonna integrate it? I waited a couple songs and it was all just this lame, pussy ass music. After you just had two good bands open up for you. And this clinching moment was like, he's like, did you guys get our last album? And you hear all these girls like, yeah, what? Sensitive guys. And he's like, the photo on the inside, it's from that mall right over there. That's right. We love malls, and we loved your mall. And the guy who talked me into coming with me, I was like, I'm leaving, dude. I'll see you later. And I left. I was so.
Did you guys go to the mall? Were you like, we gotta go to that mall?
No, I went and got drunk at a bar.
That's fucking hilarious.
I felt like really duped. I knew what it was going in, but it was like more like I just wanted to go hang out with somebody at a show. And go watch music anyways.
You guys remember live music? That was fun.
Yeah.
It was nice. This was a good show, but the thing that was bad about it, this was during, I went to a lot of shows where I'd be like commuting into the city, obviously in Jersey, and I think it was Unlimited Sunshine Tour. And De La Soul was there, and Cake, and Flaming Lips, like a bunch of dope bands. And the show itself was awesome, but it rained, and everybody kept rocking out. We weren't going to leave because of the rain, especially because we had to go all the way to the city.
Yeah.
And the sewers filled up. And so literally everyone was standing in like a good half a foot of like sewage water. And I don't think we realized how bad it was. Like at the time, it was just like, we're getting muddy. It's the rain. And then we went on to we took the like New Jersey Transit back. And just smelled like shit, and like it was like having changed the environment and go inside. It's like, smells like shit in this train car. What the fuck smells like shit? You go on to the next train car, you're like, yo, this train car smells like shit too. And then like one more train car down, you're like, okay, I think we smell like shit.
Wherever we go, the smell follows for some reason.
Yeah, I remember my parents probably said something when I got home. Like we just literally, it wasn't even just our shoes because it flooded like past your shoes, and so just the shoes, the bottom of the jeans were all soaked with sewage water. Yeah, I still smell it once in a while. Just wake up in the middle of the night.
It's one of those. The smells that just stayed with you.
Yeah. Honestly, I remembered it because this also just happened when I did the Aton show on Saturday, Friday. I didn't sit on a blanket. And I stepped in it because it ended up being my shoes, but I stepped in shit. And I remember I gave somebody a ride home too. And I was like, it smells like shit in this car. God damn it. And then the whole time riding, my wife and I were like, it smells like shit. One of us definitely, I was like, because I opened the window, closed the window, opened the window, closed the window, still smells like shit. And then I got home and I smelled my shoes, and sure enough, they smelled awful.
Contextually, to let everybody know who's listening, we still have to do shows outdoors.
Right.
So
outdoor comedy.
There was a show in Central Park.
Oh, yeah, called New York is Dead. It was a good show. They put on a great show.
Yes. No, I had a gas. I wasn't like trying to tell you to take over. But
shut the fuck up.
No. It wasn't like I wasn't like putting it on you like that. But yeah, so we're still doing shows outdoors. That's why we haven't I see what the money is made on some of these, and I don't necessarily regret not having our show outdoors. I miss our show, but at the same time, like, since we're probably going to go back into another lockdown, I'm like, I do wish we could do a live show.
Right.
Outdoors.
I did one, and of course, it started to rain, like, as they were calling me up, and I'm like, this is just my luck, and there's, like, the young lady that went on before me was, like, the only table that was there, she was screaming at about their mind you, we're in Bushwick, we're like Bushwick, Ridgewood is that bridge and tunnel show,
right?
Yeah. And which is near nothing. That place is out of the way.
You got to go through a bridge or tunnel.
Yeah. And it's and she, this like younger lady that was before me was screaming at the only group of people that were there about their white privilege, and she's like, we're Puerto Rican. I grew up in Bushwick. Yeah. And she's like, and I was like, oh god. But the comic like leaned into it, and then she's like, you white, you passing Latinas.
Oh my god! When you got to stretch
what are
for
you doing? And then it started raining, and I was like,
were they doing something?
I mean, they were
trying to enjoy a comedy show.
Were they behaving super whitely?
No, she just looked up at them and saw like people at a comedy show and just
somebody to yell at instead of.
And then I went up and it was like. They moved into the little covered area and they stayed, and the host was like, well, I'm gonna bring you up. He's a young lady host too. She's like, I'm gonna bring you up saying that you gave me syphilis. I was like, that's fine.
Like, that's fine. Just because of how you look?
No, she just was like, I guess, I don't know. I was like, cool, that's fine.
Wait, who hosted it?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even remember her name.
Oh, so it could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
It could.
But then, like, I went into this whole
Paula
bit
Poundstone
about like, literally, like, it's raining, everyone's leaving, and the only people there I'm trying to like talk to about STDs, and then the passing Latina, as the lady before me called her, she started screaming, Trump 2021. I was like, wait, what?
That's not even the right year.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, that's the year he takes over, remains in power.
Well, that's like, I was like, man, this sucks. I was like, this was so terrible. It was like everything about it was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm glad I drove and didn't take a cab. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to pay to be there,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
it's been a nightmare.
I had to play a Trump supporter. Did we talk about this on the podcast?
Yeah, but you talk about it more because I want to ask you about.
Did
your
we
other
talk
thing.
about it on the podcast?
We might not have, but
No.
let's talk about it again.
I had to
please.
play an anti-masker. I didn't have to.
In a documentary.
Yeah.
He was himself.
The
but as an
character's name was
anti-masker.
Derek Humphrey. I had to play. I got cast. This guy found my fucking reel that Boris put together for a lot of money, and we can edit that out. And anyways, and so he reached out and he was like, "Hey, I have a part I'd like you to play." Or whatever, you have the perfect look.
I love when
And
they
he's
start
like, your
that.
reel is great or whatever. I was like, what is it? And he was like, it's an anti-masker who's like kind of like assaulting a pro-masking person. And this is for a comedy film for this NYU kid. And so anyway, so then I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care because it pays. And then he goes, we're gonna film outdoors in a public park. And I was like, well, what time are we doing this at? And he was like, early in the morning because we don't want you to get like accosted or whatever.
Right.
Because it's such a, you can't even wear a shirt with your opinion on it, but whatever. And so whatever. So anyway, so I get the call sheet and the call is 3:00 in the afternoon.
It's outside of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was at Rego Park in Queens, and which honestly, so I'm out there, and I have to put on "Keep America Great" Trump 2020 shirt, like literal proper propaganda for the guy, and these other people have to be anti-maskers as well. One of the people on set refused to wear the MAGA hat, even though they were cast as an anti-mask Trump person, and it was like, and then this other kid agreed to do it. Because he was just some young kid and he was overplaying it anyways. He took off his shirt and like wore these big dumb America pants or whatever. And so I'm the only one who legit looks like a Trump supporter. And people are coming up to me from both sides. Like this group of fucking kids came up who were like at baseball camp or whatever, who were like 12. They're like, yeah, Trump 2020. Or whatever. They're like, yeah.
That's
and all
so
sorts of
funny.
stuff. And I was like, they're like, so this one kid, he was clearly repeating like his dad's talking points or whatever, and he was like, "What about all the missing children from Biden's pedo ring?" or whatever. and then I got tired of them like heckling us because clearly we're doing a shoot, and I was like, "I hope Biden fucks you next." And like, and they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I hope he gets your ass."
It's
next.
why I'm voting for him.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
he can get in power and fuck you.
I was like, go tell your dad over there that I hope Biden fucks you. I was like so fucking pissed off. So I don't care. Like, I just don't want to be like heckled or whatever. I hate kids. Like kids. I don't hate kids as long as
You're
they
a fucking bully.
No, as long as kids have been disciplined.
They were bullying him. A
No,
pack
as long
of
as-
12-year-olds.
As long as kids have been disciplined, I don't care. I like if your kid's disciplined, that's fine.
Wait, but they were agreeing with him also because they thought he was a Trump
Right,
guy.
but we told like the director came over and it was like we're shooting a thing, and they so that actually made it worse.
Yeah, because he's like, we're making
Because
you
like
look
now we're
stupid.
gonna like now we're making you look dumb or whatever the case may be. And then there's like a drunk like quasi homeless guy who was like trying to threaten me even after I was like, he's like, that piece of shit's fucking up this country, and I'm like, I don't think he's the reason you're here.
Yeah, he's not why you're homeless, to be fair.
Yeah, and I go, that's why we're making fun of him, and he was basically like, you're a piece of shit, and I was like, no, this is a parody, we're making fun of him. He's like, you're a fucking piece of shit, and I'm like, all right, dude, like, just fuck off. I can't even agree with you and tell you I'm in the midst of a project of doing this without you being a complete piece of shit.
It's funny that you said, and this makes way more sense, that the 12-year-old kid is probably just repeating what his dad says. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
probably the case. But my mind went to like 12-year-olds MAGA supporters. Is that like they're like rebelling now that everyone else is so like unanimously?
Oh yeah, now that everybody's like woke.
Yeah, it's like they just want to be contrarian.
Contrarian or like punk rock, so to speak.
I think most people in my world, if anyone is a Trump supporter in my world, they're just being contrarian.
They're like, fuck everybody else.
Like, fuck everybody. Yeah.
Oh, everybody in my world is a Trump supporter. Just cares about the future of our country.
So that being said, Derek, and you had that kind of reaction. What kind of reaction did you get to the next thing you shot?
Oh, our thing the day before.
No. The thing after, the thing you shot most recently.
Oh, the thing Boris directed.
Where he's butt naked.
Yeah. Butt naked.
Honestly,
check out my Instagram, or Boris is on your Instagram.
Yeah, or Evan Krumholtz, who wrote it and is the other person in it.
Thank you. But look at our Instagrams first. And but anyways, Boris and Evan came over to my place, and I wore a pair of skin-tight, flesh-colored underwear and a robe, and we just walked over the park across my house, basically, and filmed a sketch where I'm masturbating in the park.
Fully naked. And I did bring a robe for him to put on between takes. To be fair, we kept you naked, I think, like just the minimal amount of time necessary to shoot the thing.
And thanks to Corona, school wasn't in session, and there was a school next door.
It was tough because we were trying to find something without kids walking by, but honestly, like the park was like, it wasn't busy, but there was enough activity where it was like, well, we're not going to avoid this, we're just gonna have to do it in between stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not welcome near that school anymore.
Did the cops get involved? Local law enforcement?
No, It came out great, and then I was texting Boris last night about, hey, can we make this shareable on our platforms? And as soon as I shared it on Facebook, my family lost their shit.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah, I had to hide it. And I was like, I gotta change the settings on this.
Who and what happened?
Every member of my family who's over my age. And even the ones who were my age, they're like, what are you doing?
It's extra funny if you watched it, so you should go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it for
just
sure. But
knowing
it's like,
that.
I really get into the character of a guy who masturbates.
Yeah,
without
he's
a mask
fully
on.
naked masturbating, and like also like I'm not just blowing smoke up your eyes to say the performance is good in the sense that like in the sense that like the face that he's making is very funny. It's like it's very like it's a good balance between.
A method.
He's grunting, his tits are jiggling. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. That was a real wake up call of like, man, I have gotten fat again. I mean, I never wasn't not fat, but like there's a shift that I've gone through, like the COVID-15. I go back and forth, and I'm forced.
So you got all those kettlebells. You were messing around.
I know, but I feel great. I feel fine. I just carry a lot of fat right now because I'm sedentary 23 hours out of the day.
Oh yeah,
right.
But yeah, my buddy texted me and he said, "Hey, your tits look really good." Like, fuck off, man. I know.
Which
so
family
I got
member?
out the handlebars for the handlebar push-ups today.
Look how much nicer your friends are than your family, though. Your family is their shit. Your friends compliment you on your tits.
I'm pretty sure my grandma unfriended me. She would always scold me.
Well, so then why hide it if she unfriended you?
Because I'm just losing more and more family to
comedy.
To comedy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to COVID. They keep dying of COVID.
No, I mean, if they died of COVID, their in memoriam pages could still look at my shit.
It's funny because I've been such a maniac my whole life that if that was me in that, my family would be just like, there's Jericho at it again.
I don't know why anybody expects any better. My dad died of a heroin and crack overdose. So it's like anything above that should be like, he set the
commendable,
bar
yeah,
super low.
You could tell it was a high quality video, you know?
Yeah, it was very well done. There, you know, by the time I'd be 42, when my dad was 42, he had 3 kids he didn't care about, a crippling addiction, and he was extorting my grandma for money. So like, I think if like as long as I just have a job and I stay out of jail, relative,
and the video of you masturbating in the park is artistic and funny,
and it's funny. That's the whole thing. Is like somebody tagged Vulture in Evan's thing.
Oh, that's
like,
funny.
yeah, they'll never.
I'm sure that's just one of his friends or whatever. Vulture, you got to check this out.
Yeah, no, it's like, no, tag Meg Wright specifically and have her take a look at it and see if.
Well, we know, I don't know if it's her boss, I don't want to say her name, but we both toured with somebody who's now like pretty high up at Vulture.
Yeah, our friend in comedy who we toured with and did comedy with, and ignores us in every iteration of comedy now that she works for a comedy publication.
No, she just doesn't do that. I don't think.
I know. I agree with a principled stance about it. We text every now and again. I mean, we're still friends or whatnot.
Yeah.
I shouldn't expect to leverage a friendship into a publication in Vulture, but it would be cool.
It'd be the right thing to do, but I don't expect it or nothing.
Hook up your boys.
We should tag her in this episode.
She's done Bushwick Bears, so.
No, I was specifically not saying her name to not put her on blast
because she doesn't listen.
Well, because now it's not a comedy context; it's like her job context.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Leave her alone. You're bullying.
Just like you bullied those 12-year-old Trump supporting boys.
Yeah, kids.
I voted yesterday.
Me too.
For Trump.
And the line was super long. And so I was like, fuck it. I was like, took my I voted sticker and tried to sell it to people in the back of the line. I was like,
take this for your social.
I know that you're the only reason you're here is so you can put this on social media here. Like, you want it?
Right.
I don't care. Like, you can have it.
I forgot to I did a mail-in ballot and I did everything correct. And I forgot to take a photo of it to prove I'm also a good person. So
I have my sticker. You can have it. I never put it on my shirt.
Oh, cool. I'm going to tell everybody. I mean, I did vote. It was the first time I voted in a long time. And my wife was giving me shit because, like, she's like, oh, you think you're better than everybody else because you don't like either party. And I'm like, yeah.
Most people don't like either party.
I know.
No, I had to vote. I voted for a cop. That you know how morally opposed I am to that, like how much that hurts my soul, because I hate cops. I'm 100% anti-cop, and I always will be. But the fact that that's like
you're funding
until
the police.
You need one.
I won't ever need one. I refuse to call the cops. Last time I had to call the cops was when my van got stolen. And the only reason I wanted to call the cops, I had to call the cops for insurance. I had to get a report for.
Yeah, you gotta get a police report.
Those cops grilled the shit out of me. Like I was like,
in case you stole your own van.
I was like, motherfucker. I won't ever call the cops. But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother podcast.
I could see a future Jericho that feels different.
So you voted for a cop. You funded the police at the highest level.
I know it makes me it hurt. It hurts my soul. But
you didn't just call the cops, but you called them to the highest duty in the nation.
Yeah, it's the worst.
I listen to a lot of these left-leaning podcasts to challenge my own upbringing and structual belief system.
Like Joe Rogan or what?
Yeah. Joe Rogan. Yeah, Jordan Peterson. Gavin McGinnis. And I could tell, and a lot of them are because they're also pointing out things they don't like about Joe Biden. But I've noticed as the election's gotten closer, they've all just been like spending maybe 3 minutes on why they're not super happy about Biden, and then the other 45 about why Trump is bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
I mean, that makes sense.
Well, because a lot of their like, it's if you're a reasonable person, right? You're like, yeah, no shit. But a lot of people like that listen to those podcasts aren't the brightest people in the world. And if you're like, if you're accidentally you're talking shit about Biden and Harris, and you're like, all of a sudden you're swinging votes Trump's way. You're like, oh,
or not even swinging votes Trump's way, but lowering turnout.
Lowering turnout.
Yeah, lowering turnout. Yeah. Well, that's
what they're worried about.
That's what happened in 2016.
Right. Everybody had it in the bag, but nobody was excited, so people just didn't show up.
I remember, like, right around this time when the first polls were coming out in 2016, they were saying that Hillary was 91% likelihood of winning. I remember that, 91% likelihood of winning.
Yeah.
Right before the elections came out. And so I remember I didn't even watch the fucking results. I remember for whatever reason I was in Arizona, so I was with my mom, or my mom might have been here. I don't remember. I was with my mom, which was weird.
Oh, I didn't watch the results either because we left to go on tour the next day. So I was like, I went to bed early.
I think I was getting a lot of texts. I don't remember if I watched them, but I think I paid attention to websites, and I was obviously, as everybody, I'm sure, getting a lot of group texts.
A lot of group texts.
Wild.
I woke up to my wife going, "Holy shit!" Yeah. And I know we
left. I left my now wife at that time, but yeah, I remember everybody just crying and us being like, "Peace, New York."
Oh, I remember too, because I was like, because we live in this bubble, and I didn't vote for Hillary because I live in a place that was automatically going to her, and the New York Times was saying she's going to win 4-1 nationally.
Yeah, I didn't vote in 2016.
I didn't vote for her, so and also,
and it did go to her, New York.
Yeah, New York went to her anyways, and also too, like I have a personal connection with that, with why I wouldn't vote for her. And it's irrefutable, so fuck off. And
Bill Clinton raped Derek.
Yes, Bill Clinton.
And Hillary.
I was an intern.
She watched.
I was
Hillary
an intern
watched.
at McDonald's, and Bill would come in from his jogs. No, she
Fingered
voted.
Derek's butthole with a cigar.
She voted in support of the Iraq War. I was even in the military. A conscientious objector to it, but this was at a time when they're not kicking anybody out.
Right.
We'd have people who also didn't agree with it, who would go to the commanding officer. They'd be like, "Hey, I'm gay," and they'd be like, "We know." So
Go shoot that other guy.
Yeah, go shoot the the gay guy from the bad team now.
Yeah.
And so anyways, and but when we went on a tour, I caught a lot of flack for it because like our third day in, we're driving through some state, and when you leave New York, all you would see is Trump signs everywhere.
Yeah, I
and
remember
you're just
that.
Like, I'm like, oh yeah, you guys thought because you were doing open mics in Brooklyn and talking about how bad things are, that not going back to your swing state and actually doing the work necessary to prevent this sort of thing. It's like that dumb broad who had that at the ladies' march where she's like, oh, if Hillary were president, I'd be at brunch right now.
Right,
it's like
exactly.
you don't
like,
just get to. Yeah,
that's the problem. That's why there's a lot
yeah.
of people further left that are like, "Fuck you." You're just gonna like punch in and consider your work done.
Because Donald Trump is keeping kids in cages that Obama built. So it's like, yeah, it's like the problem. The
you can't pay attention
before.
now. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Just because it's an old white guy.
Well,
and because
you know,
she didn't get coronated as
I will say also to the credit of those people that there's one of the other things. So one of the things I remember is coming back to New York being like, you guys don't know, like we went through all red states, like you guys don't know what it's like out there. Like everybody's got fucking, like nobody's got a Hillary sign, like it was all Trump signs out there. But I remember also going to a diner and they had, I don't remember if it was a Trump sign or like Jesus stuff. I don't remember exactly. I think it was Trump stuff.
Yeah.
And then on the wall behind the bar, it's like a sign that basically like is like, if you can't afford to eat, like just let us know and we'll figure something out. And so like that's the flip side of those people.
Yeah.
Is like
that they could be very Christian.
Well, but
like
in a good, well, especially because I'm not a religious person, but I look at that and I'm like, well, that's a good manifestation, obviously, of like their values that I don't normally align with. But like, if I was hungry right now, they would help me regardless of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I think that's what I mean. The bottom line is, I think most,
even though I'm a Jew,
it's like you control the money. If you want a sandwich, don't you just do some sort of dance and it appears? You blow your little sandwich whistle.
Blow a little sandwich whistle.
And a sandwich just appears in your hand.
Tell you what, I'll give you a sandwich if you bring our Lord and Savior back, you monster.
Oh, we can't give you a sandwich. You're responsible.
I think that maybe we found the name of this episode, Sandwich Whistle. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jewish sandwich whistle?
Jewish
Would that get you
whistle.
guys in trouble?
You know, there's
the
nothing.
Zionist sandwich whistle.
There's nothing to cancel here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I lost all of my jobs in the recession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The recession.
Yeah,
Well,
I have 3 more shows remaining on the year.
Well, the best part about Jewish sandwich whistle for the title would be that someone would have to listen to the whole episode in order to find the thing that they're upset about.
Yeah, it's waiting until the very end of the movie to hear it go. Oh, that's the title.
Yeah, just look right at the camera.
Jaws.
Oh, they are the usual suspects.
Well, I guess they truly were Star Wars.
Oh man, this has been a great podcast. You guys fucking rock.
You rock.
That was
You
great.
rock.
And you rock.
Check out all of our social medias. Like, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your moms about us.
Yeah, our social media is we don't ever use it enough.
It's been lacking lately.
I tweeted out if anybody gave us a review and it was the best review of that 24-hour period, I would give them $20, and nobody left a review. So somebody had to do the minimal amount of work to just go on iTunes, give it a 5-star, and go pretty good. They could have gotten $20, but nope.
Well, let's see if they do it.
It's probably because the people who listened to it already gave it a review. But if you haven't, give it a review.
Or they don't trust that you'll give them $20.
I'm not the Jewish one.
Tell your friends, have them share. We need some validation. The world is falling apart and we're dying.
That's a great way to end.
Yeah, maybe like a few lines before that.
Yeah, awesome.